Why doesn't the hero reveal himself and tell us your true name? You do have a name. My name is Gladiator. How dare you show your back to me? Slave, you remove your helmet and tell me your name. My name is Bun My Comic, and I represent all the campaigns you shadow banned and kicked off your website. Huh? Creators that just wanted to fund, that wanted to be left alone. And we will build a website that is going to bury you all. Oh crap.
Get ready for awesomeness.
I've done it. I've done that.
Alright, hello, welcome one and all to another daily video with me, EB, Earth's Best Entertainment, and as you saw in that trailer, please get on over to www.earthsbestkickstarter.com. That will take you to my Fund My Comic page, which is for Earth's Best Friends book number 4, live now, guys, so get on over there. Tonight, I got Mindy Wheeler tonight. How you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
Alright, excellent. And, so yeah, we've welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me. You got a lot going on there. That was a cool intro.
Yeah. I used to have a few more things in the intro, but there were some copyright issues, so I cut some things out. And now that I'm in Kickstarter mode, or I keep saying Kickstarter is pretty much just like a word for crowdfunding, because
Yeah.
so every time I'm like, and also
The adjective.
it's confusing because my domain name is Earth's Best Kickstarter, but it's on Fund My Comics. So yeah, but now that I'm in crowdfunding mode, I'm also trying to play that trailer whenever I can as well. So.
I don't blame you. Yeah, that's how we have to do it. We promote ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Mindy, you've got an interesting book that you're working, or that you got live on Kickstarter as well.
Yes.
And
Called Boobs.
it's called Boobs, which is like, okay, how do you come up with this idea?
Well, I have to blame my husband for the title. He's the one that thought
Okay.
of the name Boobs. So that was, well, we have a lot of funny, like, laughing sessions together where we make lots of jokes. I've actually been writing them down for years because I think he's great. He makes me laugh. And I get some good ones in there too, you know. I have my fair share of good jokes. So this was kind of like that. We were in the car. And we've been in the comic industry, especially more so me as an artist. You know, he hasn't really been involved, especially the past 2.5 years so much. But we were just talking about a book concept, and he's like, what if we made a book and called it Boobs? And then we were like, really? You know, back and forth, and then we just started laughing, and we actually talked about it, and then it came to be. So it's his fault that the name is what it is, but I rally behind that name too. We've even talked about changing it. I thought, just like you said, the Kickstarter mode, crowdfunding mode, I was a little worried about how well that'd be received and if I would get any backlash from the crowdfunding platforms for that name. But then at the end, I'm rallying for the name. Yeah, and like, let's just go for Boobs. So that it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, hey, you might as well just deliver what you promise, right? It delivers what it promises, right?
Yes, it does. I'm so glad we stuck with that name because it's a lot of fun. I was thinking of calling it Super Babe, but the Boobs name is just way better. It's the whole round, full experience of the book with the title. It's fantastic.
Yeah, when Jeff sent me an email and I was like, okay, I took a look at the book and I'm like, all right, it doesn't seem as since it's satire, it's like the first off the title makes me think, I don't think I can promote a book like that, you know. But when I took a look at the Kickstarter, I'm like, all right, it's satirical. I think I'll be okay. But
yeah.
It's like
It's
so
funny. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just agreeing with you. Yeah, I wouldn't call it porn. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's just there's just a topless nudity. That's it in the book. So yeah, it's on the more mild tame of the whole not safe for work genre. I've never really gotten into the not safe for work genre, but now there's like a bunch of people talking to me and I see all their stuff, and so yeah, I didn't even really know what was out there in that genre. It is meant to be 100% funny.
Yeah. It's it's doing very well, which I mean, they do say sex sells, right? Even if it's not necessarily pornographic, you know, there's a thing they say in indie comics. It's kind of like if you got TNA, you've got a successful book, you know.
Yes, and you
So
know what?
it's
Honestly,
awesome.
that kind of bothers me because that's been going on for like years, but no one like I didn't think anybody had the guts to call the book Boobs before now. So at least it's really honest marketing, right? It's like you come here expecting what you get, you're gonna get that. At least it's honest.
Yeah, it's awesome that it's doing great though. I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see you hitting all your stretch goals, and I love the puns, man. I saw some of the advertisements. I love the puns. I tried to come up with some myself. I don't know if I did that great of a job, but tried my best, you know.
Well, thank you. Yeah, the puns are the fun of it, you know, and it's not just a guy thing too. There's tons of women that have gotten into the book, and then a lot of couples. I'm seeing a lot of couples, which makes me happy because the whole point of the book is to be a bit carefree about things, and also kind of like appreciate the female form, whether you're a man or a woman can be proud of what she has. So that's totally cool. Yeah, it's been a total blast. We're all having a total blast with this book. Jokes,
Excellent.
all the jokes are fun. That's the point of the book.
Yeah, it sounds like it's quite. You must have had a great time. Now, are you the artist, or writer, or both, or?
Yeah, both. Yes, both.
Oh,
My
excellent.
husband has the writing background. I have the artist background. But
Oh, okay,
yeah,
excellent.
we came up with that concept together. You know, his initial conception was the big, and then he wrote the script.
Oh, okay.
And that was 2.5 years ago, and so a lot has happened since then. COVID happened. Well, it was during COVID year when we did that. And then I had a baby since then, and then just a lot of personal stuff. And I've been continuing to work on this book. And then he kind of dropped off of it and got busy with work, so then I took over the writing. So I've expanded it, and I've added a lot to it too. So it's a combination of both of our writing, but my art.
Excellent. Yeah, it's wonderful to have that kind of talent to be able to draw. I've always been a little jealous of folks who can draw. I'm a writer myself because that, you know, when you can't draw, you write. No, not to put down any writers out there. I love writing, but we all are a little envious of artistic folk. But it's awesome. It's awesome to be a duo like that. My wife has some artistic talent, but she doesn't know anything about like computers, so she wouldn't know anything about like getting it up on like Photoshop and like digitally coloring or anything. But I always wanted to kind of do a project with her. We did try something one time. I had this idea for like a Looney Tunes-esque comic, and we did like a couple pages, but then we just got distracted because we both have ADHD. So we're both easily distracted and forget about things pretty fast.
That's cute.
You know?
Well, you know, that's why I would encourage that. I would encourage all creativity between husbands and wives. I think it's a fun bonding experience. If you ever get through it, I'd love to read it.
Yeah. We went, oh man, I think we lost those original pages too. It was pretty cute. She has like this really like chibi kind of cutesy style. But it was pretty cute. But yeah, I don't think we have those pages anymore, unfortunately. And then we had kids, and that kind of not really. She barely gets to draw anymore.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I understand that for sure. I might just have my third one. It took a while. Like when I was pregnant, I was able to do like a page a day. I was knocking them out because I was just sitting on my butt, right? I was all big and pregnant.
Oh yeah.
Sick all the time. I always have really bad morning sickness with every kid, and it lasts months. Yeah, whatever. But they say the morning sickness ties how much hair they have, and all my babies have had a lot of hair, so maybe that's it. But yeah, no, there was definitely like once I had my baby, it was like at least like 3 or 4 months of like I couldn't work at all. So yeah, I feel that it took a lot to get back into the groove. And I want to mention there's a comment. I know you're driving. You can't see the comments, right? Or can you?
Oh yeah. So yeah, folks with the comments, I will get to you. I am driving, so I'm not able to really look at them right now. But thank you for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it for sure.
It's one
great
from
to have.
Pops Van Zant, and he says hi, so I just want to say hi.
Pops, yes. Hey, Pops. Thank you for your for tuning in, man. I appreciate it. Which reminds me, he wanted me to let you know we will be putting this up on the Madness Network in the morning, 8 a.m. tomorrow, if that's okay with you.
Oh, nice. Sure. Yeah. I welcome all kinds of help, you know. Definitely. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so yeah, because being a part of Madness Network is pretty cool. It's been a good thing for me, and we so every time I go live during the night, it replays in the morning on the Madness Network. It's pretty cool.
That's neat. That's very cool. Yeah, the indie creator kind of... I noticed that there's, like, different bubbles of indie creators, different circles. And I'm sure this has been exasperated by the algorithm of social media. But it's cool to just start, like, getting back into it and popping through all those bubbles again and saying hi to everybody. As I've talked to Pops in the past. We know each other. So, and he's got a great thing with Madness. He's been doing that for years now, haven't you, Pops? So good for you. I'm glad you kept with it. That's awesome. It's a good bubble of people over there.
Yeah, he's doing a great thing for a lot of creators. And yeah, you're right. There are a lot of different comic community circles, and then there's like a Venn diagram where some of them overlap.
Yeah, exactly. It took me a long time to figure that out, you know, and I think that hindered me quite a bit. But then I kind of did figure it out, and I thought, oh, okay, now I get it. Like, now I get what's going on. But it took me a long time. I think the whole Facebook integration has totally messed with our communication in society, and sometimes controlled it, or influenced it. So you have that too. The weird world we live in.
Oh yeah. And if you know George Medina and Sam Vera, their show is a good one to get on to. Catch the Craze podcast. Although they're so successful right now that you got to book like months in advance. I think I booked one for like October, and that was like the earliest one I could get with them.
Oh wow. Yeah, I don't know about them. Some podcasters, they really do book out a long ways. I've heard that too. Oh yeah,
they're great guys. Then there's also Critical Blast. You got to know him, RJ.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad you said something, because I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna pull up the tab so I remember. I know Critical Blast, and I meant to reach out to Critical Blast because they reached out to me a long time ago. Said, "Are you doing the YouTube circuit again?" And I said no, because I didn't think I was going to. But then just this past week, I had someone help reach out to podcasters. Jeff did, and now I got all these podcasts I'm doing. So I'm like, I can't forget about Critical Blast. So I'm glad you said that, so I can go find them and message them. What's his name personally? Do you know? I don't know. Critical Blast, or do they not reveal it?
Yeah, you could just get him from Critical Blast, or his name is RJ, but all of his handles are Critical Blast on social media.
There we go. I'm messaging him now. I'm on this.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, and he also helps creators with distribution, shipping rather. Well, I guess that's kind of both the same,
cool.
One and the same. But yeah. So if you feel like the shipping costs are crazy, which we all know they are, he tends to be able to beat the shipping costs of traditional carriers and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. I ought to ask him about that. I didn't know that. Yeah, shipping's been on my mind lately. I'm kind of bracing for that. The campaign is over for me in 10 days, and then it's going to be shift time. So I'm really kind of nervous, because I've never done it on Kickstarter before, so I've shipped lots of books before, so that I'm not scared about, but I'm scared about, how Kickstarter works. I just keep trying to poke through the fulfillment tab and looking at it like it's going to do something, you know?
Fulfillment can be pretty, it can get overwhelming pretty fast as well. And so actually, that kind of answers one of my questions. So this is your first crowdfunding campaign?
Yes, the one that I'm running for myself for my own book, yeah. I did a cover for Dynamite about, I don't even know now. Well, 2.5 years ago, about the same year that we came up with Boobs, but I think a few months beforehand. And so they managed that for me. and I just did the art. So, and I think I bugged them a little bit too. I was like, can I do a contest? And I did a drawing contest on social media, and they helped me do that. And they probably didn't want to do that,
right.
but I insisted, because I like fun things.
Yeah.
But that was it. That's the only crowdfunding experience that I have. But I do have marketing experience, so that helps. I feel kind of like I'm back at my old job. I did marketing for many years, so I feel pretty comfortable. Like, it was really nervous. I was really nervous at first, but now I feel like I'm getting in the groove of it. I'm really enjoying it. It's just it's just me, myself, and I doing all the work. So it's gonna be a lot of shipping. I just can tell that much. It's gonna be a lot of shipping.
Oh yeah. And how did you meet Jeff? Because he works as an agent for folks of sorts. So how did you meet him?
It was through Divergent Media Group, I think is the last word. So they hit me up a couple times on Facebook. So I worked with them for a little bit, and they don't work on my campaign anymore. But for a short little while, they helped me figure things out, and they had a lot of helpful suggestions. And they connected me with Jeff. Although I've spoken minimally with Jeff, but he's the one that, he seems like a really great guy. He's the one that reached out to you guys on my behalf at that time. So, and you guys are still coming in, so he obviously is a really good guy and good at what he's doing. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
How do you know Jeff?
And he's been helping me keep my show full of guests. That's for sure. I've had a bunch of guests from him now, yourself
awesome.
included, and I've got Wells Thompson coming tomorrow, who'll actually be the second time coming on the show, and I've had Jeff on himself as well. So yeah, it's awesome that he does that, and it's awesome that he continuously uses me as a resource. I appreciate that for sure, because this is pretty new for me, having a guest every night. I used to just talk into the void. Now I talk into the void with a guest. You know. My goal this year was to have a bigger YouTube presence and to try to have a guest every night that I do a show, which is every night that I go to work.
Oh, well, that's cool. That's cool you're mixing it in with your schedule. That's awesome. Yeah, I know what you mean about talking into the void, too. I've done drawing streams where it's like, you know, I feel like I'm drawing by myself and like, hello,
oh, yeah.
and the numbers will go off and they're like, goodbye, and then they'll come back on, hello, and then they go away, goodbye. It could be like that.
Oh, yeah.
Some nights. It's like, it's funny how the internet works. It depends on, I think, what kind of time you go live. I've been experimenting with that stuff for like a year, like really closely observing, because I used to work in digital marketing, so I know they've got algorithms, but they just don't let you know what they are. But if you go live, I think about every time, the same time every night, I think that helps. So you're doing it right.
Oh yeah, it definitely has, and it's especially awesome when folks. So StreamYard is really cool. They came up with a feature that allows guests to stream on their shows if they have one. So it's awesome when guys with bigger channels come on than me, because then they have their fan base coming over to my show without even realizing it. Last night we had the duo from Hero Shack. I don't know if you know them, Chris and Diana, and they had guys from their fan base coming on, and they didn't even realize it was my show. They were like, "Oh, are you doing a pre-show?" He's like, "No, we're actually on this other show tonight." Like,
cool.
oh, okay. They were a little confused at first.
That's neat. I see that button now. I didn't realize that was there. It says stream this to your audience. If I click that and share it to my page, will it lose the video, or should I try? I could try if I see that button. Yeah, I see what you're talking about now. I didn't know that either. I could share it to mine. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
I might just do that. Let's see.
And
I'll call it Speaking
as you
into
see,
the Void.
Oh, what's that?
I'm gonna share it to my channel too. I'm gonna call it Speaking Into the Void with Earth Beth.
Oh yeah, excellent. Yeah, yeah, it's great. Appreciate that when folks pop it on their channel as well, because then it helps my show, but it also folks that do actually tune into my show will actually see your stuff as well. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody, really. That's probably why that they created that feature, to have people kind of share fan bases, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. StreamYard is a pretty nice program. Is that your windshield wiper?
Yeah, it's an awesome feature, and it pretty much makes StreamYard better than all their competitors, really. Because I used to use a different streaming service before I learned about StreamYard, and that was cool. I mean, it was pretty similar to StreamYard, but yeah, now that they have that feature, it's like, oh yeah, I definitely want to stay with StreamYard now.
That's cool. They're the only stream program I've used, and I like their interface. They've done everything pretty well. I don't know who their competitors are, honestly. I think everybody uses StreamYard. The service I was on a stream last night. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, it seems to be the standard amongst the comics community, at least, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I was on a stream last night, and it was funny, and they were talking about the theme song they put up there called Feeding the Ducks. It was cute. And it was all like, very, kind of like bedroom feeling music, but it was called Feeding the Ducks. That was fun. I said, why is it called Feeding the Ducks? So maybe they have a whole duck thing that they do. Having that ducks are their logo. But StreamYard's awesome. I enjoy it. I did share you to my Facebook and my YouTube channel, so we'll see if anybody pops on.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That helps everything out for sure. And yeah, so hopefully it works for you as well. You know, and like I said, your campaign's booming, which is awesome. I love to see that. And have you heard much about Fund My Comic?
A little bit, but yeah, I've checked it out, and I see it, and I say a couple people have told me about it. Yeah.
Obviously,
you have your book on it, right?
Yes, I do. Yep. And as confusing as the domain name is, what happened was Fund My Comic's technically kind of in like a beta stage. So I bought that domain name with every intention of going on Kickstarter. And then Luke announced that Fund My Comic was going to be live, and I was like, all right, I definitely got to be on Fund My Comic, because Luke's a friend of mine from the community at this point. And I've been in a chat room with him behind the scenes since day one, since he came up with this idea. And so it's been awesome watching that evolve behind the scenes. And then so I said to him, I was like, all right, I'm going to go and Fund My Comic, but I'm keeping the domain name.
That's pretty cool. My best advice to him is just to not run an ad that says free speech on it. Because I have done that before, and then all of a sudden I got demonetized. So...
Oh, yeah.
Big Tech is out there.
He's very anti-censorship, so as long as there's nothing like graphic on the actual campaign itself, it doesn't matter what the comic actually has. Just as long as it's not on the campaign itself, he's fine with it, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think I've done business entrepreneurial efforts for years. I think it's a form of being creative, honestly. And that didn't really occur to me until kind of recently. Because I've done all kinds of, and my husband too. He's always thinking of business ideas and entrepreneur role avenues. And it occurred to me, like, this is a creativity, like, that we're tapping into. So yeah, I definitely support the creative free market for sure. That's what it's about. I support free market. So all power to him. I hope he does well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so hopefully maybe your next obviously this book is going to be successful, so when you do a second one, hopefully maybe you'll consider Fund My Comic. I'm like an unofficial I'm like on an unofficial salesman forum here. Like every creator, I always say, "Hey, if you considered Fund My Comic, I'm like a Jehovah's Witness." Have you considered? Have you considered the gospel of Fund My Comic?
That's funny. I forget what the Mormons say. They say, "Have you accepted?"
Yeah, like a Mormon too.
Yeah, Jesus Christ is your savior. Have you accepted Fund My Comic as your crowdfunding platform? That's funny. It just occurred to me as you were saying that. I wonder how. I didn't know about Fund My Comic till I don't know if it was like right before I launched or after I launched.
Yeah.
But at that point, I already had committed. And I had been staying off of crowdfunding platforms, very picky myself for a long time. But I went with Kickstarter in the end. And I wonder, though, how easy the transition would be now that I'm on this side of the aisle looking at it as a creator, to get all of the people from Kickstarter who backed my book onto Fund My Comic. That would be a challenge. I have in the past said that people will follow you, and I do think that. I do believe it, especially
I think so.
Creator. Yes.
Especially as he improves the site. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, you're fine. What I would suggest to any creator who might be worried about that is to try out sites like Fund My Comic with like a variant. That's what I've suggested in the past for similar business ventures of this nature, is to put like a variant of your book on there, so you don't have to depend on the entire campaign being there if you're nervous, but you could also test out like a specific Fund My Comic variant. That's not a bad idea. So I don't know I've already got my whole year booked. I don't know about me personally doing that right now, but for any creator that is coming from Kickstarter to Fund My Comic, that's what I would suggest. Because believe it or not, yeah, my husband and I had a similar website. That's actually how Boobs started. Was a fundraiser for a crowdfunding website that was going to be anti-censorship as well, 2.5 years ago. But we didn't continue it because, like I said, we got demonetized, and that was a big upset.
Oh, right.
And we started, yeah, and then we started getting trolled by indie creators, sadly. And so the toxicity from the other, there's a lot of toxicity in comics, so it started to kind of like spill.
Oh, definitely.
And that was kind of like the last straw. Maybe we could have hung on a little longer, but we were just tired. It was a small little venture, so, and we also were trying to connect retailers, and then come to find out, there's like a lot of hate between retailers and creators. I did not understand this when we started, but there's actually like a deep hate. I don't know why or where that comes from, the whole history of it, but a lot of them don't like each other. More on the creator side. It's more the creators hating the retailers, and I think that goes into a history of maybe feeling like taken advantage of. I don't know. But then the retailers feel like some of the creators aren't dependable. So there was a lot there that, like, yeah, this whole industry is like really screwed up in a lot of ways. But yeah, I just wanted to step back and then do my own thing after that, and like kind of like do things for other people. I just really wanted to focus on this book, and it became a really fun project. And I'm finally having fun in comics, so that goes a long way for me. Yeah, comics should be fun. Fun, lighthearted.
Yes, happy. Absolutely. If you're not having fun, there's no point, for sure.
Yeah.
It can't feel like work to you, you know?
Yes. And that's why people love comics, because they love the medium, and that's why I did it. It's because I love the medium too. I almost like gave up, thinking that like, maybe it's too much. This industry, like I said, has been just through so much the past few years. Like, maybe it's better if I just wash my hands and move forward. But I'm really glad I didn't, because this is a blast. I'm having a blast.
Yeah, so. Absolutely.
Hey, nice buddy Charles.
Hey, man, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. No point if you're not having fun. That's exactly it.
Yeah, Charles just got his work published, by the way, in The Raven. The Raven or The Raven Review. He just got a piece published. He is a poet. He writes amazing poems. I have his book, actually.
Excellent.
So congrats, Charles. That's really awesome.
Somewhere in the collection, right?
Yes, Just a Peek it's called, and I totally reorganized my books in my bookshelf, so I don't know where it is. I just gave away a huge collection of books. I was sad about that, but I love books, so what can I say? People like books, right? People like comic books and books. There's a market for it. The Raven Review, he says, yes. Awesome.
Raven Review. I'll have to check it out for sure. And I'll have to get him on the show too, and we'll have to chat and stuff after the show.
So someone's mic
he says someone's mic is chirping. Whoop. Yeah, we've had some weird connection issues since the beginning tonight.
A little bit, yeah. I wonder if that's mine. I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, I don't know how to. It's funny. I know a good amount of about video editing, but I know almost nothing about audio.
Me neither. I'm just gonna scoot the mic away, and maybe that will help. I'll just talk louder. Maybe it's a feedback thing.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix that.
I don't know either. So wait, how long do you have left for your campaign on Fund My Comic?
I believe. Let's see. It's been about a week. It would be it'll be 8 days. So I should have about 22 days left, give or take. And yeah, it's I've got 2 backers so far, which is I'm thinking the economy has something to do with it. Doing an all ages book also doesn't help you too much in the comics community a whole lot of the time. Like we discussed earlier, if you don't have TNA, it's a lot harder to be successful. Not that you can't, but it certainly is. You certainly make life harder for yourself when you decide to go more like a puritanical route, I guess you could call it, or family friendly, as I like to say. But I've had successful campaigns in the past, so I'm not too worried. And the book actually will be done probably within the next week, because I just actually sent him the script for the last page of the book today. So that's what's cool about this campaign. The funding will mostly be for shipping and catching up payments with the artists and stuff. But the book will be complete, so I can send it out to folks before the campaign even ends, potentially, depending on when he gets done with that last page.
Nice. That's cool. That's the cool thing about art that I like with like the prints that I've made, or anything that you're done with as an IP, as a creator. It's your property. You can go take it and like make money off of it forever. That was like mind blowing when I figured that out. I was like, hey, I have all this work from like 7 years ago. I could still sell it, so that's cool to have something under your belt. This is my first full book of my stuff under my belt, but yeah,
excellent.
IPs like that are cool to have, and yeah, family friendly is the most competitive. They say that in the publishing world, that children's books are the most competitive, and there are so many. They
are. It's funny because I came up with the idea thinking that it might be easier to get into, and boy was I wrong. Because I originally did a book that was, well, actually, the demographics for the book that I originally did was pretty much nobody. I didn't really have a demographic. It was very experimental, and yeah, it was a weird project, but it was cool. I mean, it was fun, and it definitely got my foot in the door into the community and stuff. So it helped everything with that. But yeah, everyone was suggesting to me, oh, you should do a kids book. You should do a family, all ages book, because it seems like it would be more your style, since you have this childlike essence, as they've described me. So I'm like, all right, fair enough. It's like, I don't know, I guess so. But then I did come up with this idea for a superhero book, and I worked on it originally with a different artist, Olivia, and then we had to part ways. 'Cause she was getting overwhelmed. She was doing it for free, which was like, God bless her, you know. And so I think it just got to be too much. And then so I was like, hey, is it cool if I take all the scripts I wrote, because I wrote tons of scripts for episodes of what we were calling at the time Siamese Ninja Heroes, which became Hyper Feline Ninja Heroes, which is one of the superhero factions within Earth's Best Friends. And so I was like, is it cool if I take the scripts and turn it into a book? She's like, yeah, that's fine, So so I did that, and then when 2020 came around, when I somehow gained 14,000 followers, which to this day I still don't know how I did that, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything for my campaign. I'm constantly on Twitter promoting the book, and it's crickets, man. It's crickets. 14,000 followers, 14,000 crickets.
How did you do that? How did you just go from...
I honestly don't. It's a phenomenon that I can't explain. Because Instagram, I have maybe a couple hundred. Facebook, the same thing. YouTube, the same thing. Like this channel, Earth's Best Entertainment, has like 50 subscribers. And then my other channel, which was called Earth's Best Entertainment, but now I'm doing more of a Christian thing on that. But that has like 130 subscribers or something. So between the two, I have maybe 200 subscribers there, and then Twitter, I have 14,000. So I'm thinking a lot of them are bots. But if you constantly promote people within the community and constantly do like writers lists and stuff, you'll eventually accumulate followers. And I think that's kind of how I did it. I'm not saying that that's the formula, because I could be wrong, but that seems to be my experience, at least.
That's crazy. Why did the bots like you so much? Like, if it is bots with...
I have no idea. But I can tell you, I had 15,000 followers this time last year, and it's gone down to about 14.7, I think I'm at. And I think Elon Musk getting rid of bots has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I'm sure. We've seen dropping everywhere. That's really interesting, though. So you're saying that if permanent is real and it comes alive, we all need to go to your house, because apparently, just in case.
Yeah, right. Well, this is on Twitter as well, so you can't see what the viewer count from Twitter is on StreamYard, but I usually have about 5 or 6 people tuning in on that as well.
That's good. That's good.
Should be plenty of exposure for you, and
yes.
with a slight pun intended there, exposure.
I'm just teasing about the bots. Yes, I know. Social media is such a hard thing to figure out. But sometimes it's the small posts too that like I don't expect to catch traction that do. It's been like I said, I've been observing it. Because I'm trying to figure it out too. And I that's the main thing that I've caught is if you just post the same time every day, and that's like the best advice I can give you. And I feel stupid when it comes to this stuff, because I used to be in marketing, like back when we used to all look at newspaper ads, and I would design, and I watched everything change, and that actually put me out of a job. The robots took my job as a marketing manager. Right. They did. Right. Yep. And so I got into trucking later after comics, like the industry kind of popped and fell through for a while. So then I got into trucking because the robots took my job. And I couldn't predict anything either. All my experience in marketing just kind of like, took a tank for a while because we were reliant on all the algorithms of all these big tech companies. It's totally different. And the small businesses just started replacing their marketing managers with Facebook pages. So that's what happened to my job. I remember talking to a managing girl at Ferrari. She managed a Ferrari corporate dealership in Arizona, and all she did was take pictures of the cars and upload it to Facebook. She didn't have a job either, really. So it's it's been a big change for everybody, and I still haven't figured it out. So good for you for getting that many followers, and all you can do is keep on promoting. That's all we know how to do.
Yeah, exactly. So that's so you jump in the writers lifts and you do writers lifts. I noticed the only time I ever get any real interaction is when I'm doing a writer's lift on like a Saturday morning. They call it the Saturday. You just use the hashtags shameless self-promo Saturday, and that gets people's attention, and they drop their links.
Interesting. I'll have to check that one out. I've seen the writers community hashtag. And that one's fun. I don't know if there's a comics community hashtag. You start getting into hashtags and comics, and you'll find maybe some things you don't want to see.
Comics community is kind of split because I don't know what the non-Comicsgate hashtag is, but there's the Comicsgate hashtag, which will get you a good amount of people from the community, and then I don't know what the non-Comicsgate people use. They might just use comics or something. But yeah, there isn't like an equivalent to as there is like the writing community. Is you could put in writing community, writers community, and writers lift. And there used to be one writing cafe, but I think that one kind of went away.
That sounds fun.
People use that hashtag to try to get away from all the writers lifts because there was an influx of writers lifts. And some people were starting to say, hey, let's have some real conversations and not just promote. And then people just started using that to promote as well. So it was just another hashtag for writers lifts.
That's funny. I don't use the hashtags. And as far as there being an opposite for not CG, I don't know. I don't think that exists either. I think that they just don't use the hashtag. And I think there's a lot of politics involved, but even outside of that bubble, like BLM name any like political movement, and anyone can come in and use it, and maybe that's not like a good thing. Sometimes maybe it's bad, like people with bad intentions can come in and use it too. What's another political group? Like name a hashtag. Me Too. Like sometimes it's good, but then sometimes it discredits itself. So I try to stay away from all hashtags now. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah, if you want to, I mean, it's weird because the way Twitter works is you definitely get more people seeing you when you use hashtags. But then, I think the way the algorithm works now, if you use the same hashtag too much, it'll kind of hide you a little bit. So you have to kind of be adventurous in figuring out what hashtags to use when, so that you're not spamming a hashtag. But if you don't use one at all, you'll kind of just be floating in space too. So it's weird. It's like a balancing act, the way that works. Instagram is completely different. Instagram, you pretty much have to have a mountain of hashtags. I use at least like 10 hashtags with Instagram, and then Twitter, it's like maybe you use 1 or 2 or 3, maybe at the most. And I don't know if I've ever seen hashtags work all that much on Facebook, but you can use them there as well as YouTube. I haven't really seen it work too much on YouTube either, though.
Yeah, that's exactly pretty much the same experience I've had too, with all of them. So, yeah, you're right on the dot. I think it's evolved over time. I don't think it's always been the same either, watching these companies from their inception. It's funny, all this controversy over data and Zuckerberg from time to time that we hear. And I remember I was working at a newspaper when Facebook was getting all the traction and all the businesses started to switch over, which continued over the next 2-3 years in mass. So when it started, I was still building Flash banner ads,
Oh yeah.
like animations on Flash, and then making phone calls and selling them. Yeah.
Rest in peace, Flash.
Yeah, exactly. I remember saying people were like, "Oh, you could put all this stuff online," and I was like, there's gotta be a catch. That can't be free. And they're like, oh yeah, it's free. I'm like, I bet you they're collecting your data. I bet you that's the price. And then like all this stuff comes out now, the past few years, all this data and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, see, I told you. Told you it wasn't free.
Yeah, exactly. There's a catch, there's a catch to using the social media, and now it's so integrated in our lives. It's like we've kind of just overlooked that because we're all addicted to social media.
For real, they should have like a no social media day on like Saturdays where everybody who's within a certain circle like just goes out and hangs out together at the park. That would be really weird and funny to see because I bet you'd be really awkward.
Yeah.
But people would actually like have to go talk to each other, That would be interesting to see if we all started Facebook meetups.
Right. Yeah, that would be weird. I can see it though. I can picture it.
Yeah. I bet you might make some real good friends that way though. Maybe.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that you were working for a newspaper when Facebook started being popular and stuff. We're probably in the same generation, age demographic, give or take. So when you mentioned Flash animation, I can remember just like the early days of the internet before YouTube, and Flash animations were like the source of internet entertainment. You go to websites like Newgrounds or Albino Black Sheep, and I was constantly like, as a teenager, always like going on those websites, just watching stupid Flash animation videos. It was a primitive time, but it was a fun time,
I know exactly. I have a teenager, my oldest, my son. We're pretty close, and I've been recently like introducing him to the old internet with like, "This is Sparta!" Wow, like all the old videos.
Yeah. It was like memes before they were called memes,
Yes, that was a fun time. There's a lot of funny stuff. I forgot about this. I love that time.
Yeah.
It was early internet. Mm-hmm. We all
every now and then you could.
All coded.
Yeah, MySpace, man. You think back, MySpace was actually superior to Facebook if you think about it. Because you could customize it if you knew a little bit of HTML, or if you could find a website that had the HTML for you. And these days, if MySpace still existed, these days you could get ChatGPT to write code for you. I actually did that. I tried it out. So I played this game, RPG Maker, and it is exactly what it says. You make like RPGs with it, and so on the computer, it's called RPG Maker MV, or now there's MZ, but I use MV. You can put in plugins to make the game better, because the base game is it's okay, but it's definitely limited. But there's all kinds of plugins that you can get for it. So I fooled around with ChatGPT, and I asked it to create a plugin for, I forget what it was exactly, but it was to make the characters walk like 100 times faster, and it worked, man. I took the code that it gave me, put it on a notepad, saved it into the plugins folder, and then put the plugin into the program, and it worked. It actually worked. Like, so I could imagine if MySpace existed today. I mean, I guess it technically does, but if it existed in the capacity that it did in like 2008, I could imagine people could do anything with Chat GPT with it,
That's really something. I started to figure out that people could make code a few weeks ago, and I thought that was wild. See, that's the second time robots took my job. I was in West.
Oh man, were you? Oh man, yeah. So So I apologize for contributing to that.
Dang you! That's okay. It's fine. It's a force that's just unleashed now into the world. I
Yeah.
asked Charles if
Yeah,
my mic was still chirping. He says it's in and out, so I'm just muting when I don't talk. So hopefully that makes my microphone is chirping. So sorry. But yes, that's the second time they took my job. Yeah, I was in. So I went from marketing, and being in marketing, I worked with a lot of. Well, we all went digital, right? From the newspaper.
Yeah.
And then the next job I had in marketing was like it was the weirdest job ever. It was for like a vitamin company. AI is the devil, you know, Charles.
It is. It definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I worked for a vitamin company, and the guy who was in charge of the company, it was like his magical, like, serum and magical powers. Like I'm dead serious. The guy who he sold his own magical powers.
Oh wow.
In vitamin format, and also like he would put his hands on you. Like he was like an Indian Jesus.
Hey guy, thanks for coming on.
He was also a con artist and got caught later. But anyways, that was a job for me that I had for a while. And so I started to work more with website development, like a lot heavier. You know, and my graphics, I was a graphic designer by trade too. So websites. And from MySpace, actually, I taught myself HTML on MySpace, and so I got into website development from that experience.
Excellent.
And then
yeah.
all was well, but then the robots took my job again. So then I got into college.
Oh man.
Twice it happened. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Well, I'm sorry that happened, but I'm glad you're seeing success in what you're doing now, and you've got this awesome comic out there, and previous comics as well. So that's good that you found a place where the robots aren't taking your job, at least for the time being, right? Because AI art is a thing, and it is getting scarily good at doing what it does now. They're even saying that they think AI will be writing movie scripts for Hollywood pretty soon. So I could totally believe that. I kind of feel like AI might already be doing that. Some of the stuff that's been coming out.
Yeah.
I made a joke today. I was like, yeah, I think AI has already been doing that. I mean, look at season 3 of Mandalorian. It seems like they've, it doesn't feel like a human actually wrote that season.
I believe it. I believe it. And did you see, you mentioned you're Christian, right? Is that true?
What's that?
You mentioned you're Christian, is that true?
Yes, I am.
That's awesome. So I would also consider myself somewhat Christian. Like, I've been reading about it and getting into it for, many years.
Sure.
I would consider myself Christian. I know I'm doing this book. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's been a struggle for me, actually. So it's like within morality, though, which is
sure.
We'll see. But it definitely like celebrates what a man and a woman are naturally. So I like that about it. It's been a really fun adventure. I think that I do definitely believe in God, but I think that God would have a sense of humor, and so
sure,
that's what resonates with me. But where was I going with that? Oh yeah, like AI and all of this, like it really feels like as time goes on, more Christian elements like seep into life, and I'm like, yeah, this is definitely like happening. Like it definitely feels like that, doesn't it? And with an AI,
it does.
Too. Yeah, it does.
With AI and everything else that's crazy that's going on with the world, we definitely need God more than ever, for sure. You know.
Yeah.
And not to get long-winded, I could talk about that forever. My other channel is called Cornerstone Ministry now. I've been doing daily psalm readings. Well, I haven't the last few days because I've been busy, and the kids are on vacation. I usually do it while I'm in the pickup line while I'm waiting to pick up my kids from school. So I haven't been able to do that this week. So I can take the week off from it. But and Sunday nights now I've been kind of dedicating, not necessarily to the word, but just I do reflections, and then of course whenever I reflect, I tend to talk about Jesus. so my Sunday night video kind of went into that a little bit. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe Sundays I'll just kind of dedicate to the Lord on the live stream, and because I don't have guests on Sunday nights. I just do Monday through Thursday.
That's cool. Sunday's a good day for that kind of stuff for sure. I believe in that on Sundays. What was I gonna say?
That's good. I'm glad to hear that, Guy.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Protestant Christian as well. Guy from Red Bull.
Yeah.
Yes, Guy from Red Bull.
Yeah, he's a Protestant.
On my channel. Yeah, there's a lot of it out there. He said, "Was the robot named Arnold, Mindy?" Too. That's funny.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's it, right? Yeah, we're kind of in a time right now where we could easily find ourselves in a sci-fi movie where robots take over the world. It's kind of scary, and it won't necessarily be like the Terminator where there are physical robots. It'll kind of be more like just the more we rely on the technology, the more we become enslaved to it. Probably a little bit more like the Matrix, I guess you could say, even though they did have physical robots killing humans too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think you're right. You know,
yeah.
so I think this is my kind of theory, and it's kind of trippy. So hell is a trippy subject, but what if it's like a video game? The whole like Mark of the Beast thing. What if it is a chip or something digital? I don't know that we've seen it yet. I don't think we have. But wouldn't it be crazy if hell was more of like a virtual world that you couldn't get out of? When I had that thought, I was like, oh crap. Now that just made it real.
Yeah.
It's not. It takes it out of fantasy and like puts it in a like actual like tangible spot. Like what if you really could be in a virtual world stuck in there forever. So if you applying AI to that whole concept was really trippy. These are the things that keep me up at night, you know. Like,
it is. It's pretty scary how real you could get a prompt of an AI. I experimented with Wombo. That's the one from mobile you can get, because of course there's it's called not Dreamweaver. What the heck is it called now?
That sounds
anyway,
right.
Midjourney. Yeah, that's the main one, Midjourney. But I experimented with Wombo, and yeah, I mean, it creates some pretty realistic looking stuff, and I think it's only going to get better and better at that, and that's pretty scary. And then ChatGPT is pretty scary. You ask it to do something, to write a story for you, and it comes up with a pretty good story that's grammatically correct, and like it really I had it write like a love poem for my wife, and it was like, wow, how crazy. Like I of course I told her it was from ChatGPT. I didn't want to you know lie to her, you know, but it's just like I was like, yeah, I asked a robot to write you a love poem. But it was legit, man. I mean, I could have totally passed that off as something I came up with, you know? That's how good it's become.
Wow. Well, isn't it supposed to be that, you know, the devil would be the deceiver or, you know, full of lies? So that just totally makes sense to me in an AI way, because it's not
absolutely
real life. It's not organic. Yeah, I thought about this all stuff like late at night, like 2 a.m. about a year ago, and I was like, oh no, it's real. Like that makes so much sense now. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So
it's definitely some scary stuff, and you're right. The devil's definitely at work in that stuff. It's not stuff we want to mess with for sure. Like I'm done experimenting with that stuff. I just want to try it out to see it. It's scary how good it is, and I could totally see it replacing writers, replacing artists. Like we could end up in a time where nobody's jobs are safe, and it's more than a tool. It's definitely more than just a tool. It's got it's got real world applications that's not good for us.
Yeah, I agree. There should have been laws. There are certain laws. I look back in time and I'm like, God, if only there were a couple laws in place that could have prevented something like this. But unfortunately,
yeah,
it's just like whoever has enough money can just do what they want with AI. So, oops.
Well, that's the as Jafar in Aladdin says. You ever heard of the golden rule? He who has the gold makes the rules. It's very true, man. You know, Zuckerberg and all these high tech companies, they're the ones that are pretty much in control. You know, they've got the money, they've got the gold, so to speak. You know, and it's pretty scary. It is. But I got to wrap up the show. I actually got to go into work now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. I'll definitely have to get you to come back. Maybe after your campaign's over, we'll talk about how well it did and what your experience was and everything. And folks in the chat, thank you for tuning in, guys. Guy from Red Bank and It's Just Tough and Pops. Thanks for all tuning in today. Mindy, thank you so much for coming on. Again, I appreciate it. And it was an awesome time tonight. And guys, if you're watching after the fact, it's been live or tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. on The Madness. Thank you so much for tuning in there as well. And guys, I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Where is my outro here? There it is.